guys, FilmCrazyAdam here, and I just got done seeing the Bourne Legacy, and wow, am I bored. No, really, this movie was really boring. This movie was the biggest letdown of this summer. You might say that Prometheus was the biggest letdown. I had no expectations going into that movie, so when I was let down, it was a legitimate, complete letdown. Snow White and the Huntsman. I kind of knew that movie was going to suck when I went into it, and so yeah, that wasn't a letdown either. I got what I expected. But this movie, Bourne Legacy, I was expecting more of the Bourne storyline, like the Bourne movies with Matt Damon, where he lost his memory. He's this CIA agent who went through this really crazy, very morally questionable program to turn him into a killing machine. Those movies were good because those had story, they had characters, the action continuously moved along. They weren't, I don't own them because I didn't think they were worth a second watch. Like, they were fun watching once. That's just me. This movie, and so the Bourne movies with Jason Bourne, Matt Damon, there was a plot to them. There was a point to them. In most of those movies, he's just trying to stay one step ahead of the CIA, so that he doesn't get killed. He doesn't know who he is. He was part of a government training program for the CIA. He just wants to stay alive and be left alone. I'm gonna tell you right now, the movie was boring. I actually don't recommend it, and I'm gonna jump right into spoilers right now. Okay, so this movie stars Jeremy Renner, who was just in the Avengers as Hawkeye. He's been in The Town. He's a good actor. I like him. He's quickly becoming like one of my more favorite actors. And he was good in this movie, I guess, because you didn't really learn anything about this character. In fact, you didn't learn anything about any characters at all. Okay, the movie starts out, well, we do a lot of jumping around, but I'm going to tell you that we start off with Jeremy Renner's character. I don't even remember his name. That's how bored I was about this movie. I don't remember anyone's name. I'm just going to refer to them as their actor's name. So Jeremy is in Alaska on some training mission. And I use air quotes because you never find out what he's on. Like, he mentions it to this other person in the same program as he was. At least I think he's in the same program because... Alright, you know the scene in the trailer where he walks out of the cabin and he gets blown up with a missile? Well, about 40 minutes before that, the movie begins. By the way, nothing happens for like the first 40 minutes of this movie. You see him just trekking across the frozen tundra of Alaska. For 40 minutes, we watch this guy just walk across the tundra, doing nothing except walking. I mean, people say the Lord of the Rings was annoying because all they do is walk, but at least they're fighting orcs, they're meeting up with elves, they're fighting the Nazgul, they're getting kidnapped, they're fighting tentacle monsters, they're going through the mines of Moria. This, he really does just walk across the tundra, climbing over mountains and stuff. He doesn't do anything for the first 40 minutes. And this is intercut with us jumping back to, like, Washington, D.C., where Edward Norton's character is telling his superior, I don't even remember who the guy is now, but he's telling his superior, we've got to shut down this program because, get this, because the person running the program, the highest person up on the totem pole, is gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, mind you, because especially in today's world, where it's more politically correct to be gay than it is straight, I mean, why does that even matter? I'm serious about this. They're watching this YouTube video, and this all takes place while Jeremy Renner is still going across the frozen tundra. Actually, no, he's met up with the other guy at this cabin, and they're very standoffish, and they're talking. Nothing gets talked about, basically. You kind of think that they're both in the same program, maybe. I don't know. It never really gets established, or it never ever is just told to you. Nothing's told to you in this movie. But anyway, back to the gay. So, you're watching this YouTube video, or we're watching this YouTube video, because Edward Norton even says, everyone's like, how many people know about it? And they're like, everyone. And he's like, how? And he's like, YouTube. Does anyone on YouTube know who these people are? I don't even know who those people are, and I'm watching this movie. I'm supposed to know these things. But evidently, the higher up, the highest guy in the totem pole is gay, and they start freaking out over that. Why? Like, I thought I missed something. Maybe I did. But, I mean, they never use the term come out, they never use the term gay, but the language that the two guys in the video use, it's very obvious that they have a thing for each other. They have a very heavy bromance, which is more than just a bromance. This is butt sex. And, you just, like, I'm like, what? So what? So what if they're gay? How does that have any bearing on how this program is run? How does it have any bearing on how everyone else thinks the program is run? I mean, so far it's worked really well. We've made killing machines, very effective ones, except for that one that got away. And for some reason, we're going to shut down the program because this guy's gay. You know, I can think of like a dozen different scenarios right now off the top of my head why you should shut down this program. There was a leak. The drugs that you're giving these guys, because they give these guys drugs, you know, big surprise, CIA giving drugs. Yeah, you didn't see that one coming. You know, like I said, they're, these drugs, they take a blue and a green. The blue ones help with metabolism, the green ones help with, cognitive function. And, yeah, just nothing they did made sense in this movie. I'm like, okay, we have to get the plot moving, you know, because in the trailer we saw that somebody wants to shut down the program, people get killed, and Jeremy Renner wants to stay alive. So, yeah, we got to get things moving, because, again, 45 minutes in this movie, nothing has happened. You go into a Bourne movie expecting the same stuff from the last 3 Bourne movies. You're expecting action, you're expecting running, you're expecting like spy stuff, you're expecting like MacGyver-esque, you know, just jury-rigged together weaponry and like booby traps. You get 2 of those. Actually, 1 of those. He shoves a nail into like a fire extinguisher and he hits the tab and it fires off into like somebody's shoulder. That's the only time he improvises anything. There's a bit of structural scaling, like when he's climbing up buildings, but not nearly as cool as in the you know, the other Bourne movies. Not nearly as okay, you know, in the other Bourne movies, you got a sense that Jason Bourne was human. In fact, you know, it took place in the real world. This was a CIA agent. He was human. He wasn't some kind of Super Saiyan. He wasn't an X-Men. He didn't have superpowers. He was human. He was just very, very well trained. So the scenes where he's like, kind of like sneaking across buildings and like climbing things, and you know, he gets shot and then, you know, he bleeds, and there's, which one was it where he gets shot and he runs into a grocery store and like he's taking like vodka. He's like improvising a weapon as he's walking, and like he uses the vodka or whatever it is to like help with disinfect the wound. It was good. That was good. That made sense. In this movie, Jeremy Renner, he gets shot a couple times. Almost doesn't slow him down at all. When he meets up with the guy in Alaska, the dude jumps down, like he's in a, I forget, I don't know what they're called, but those things that deer hunters use, where it's basically a seat strapped to a tree. The guy's like 30 feet up, and he just jumps out of the tree and whoop, and just starts walking as if it was nothing. I can't even do that, and I did crap like that all the time when I was younger. You really get the sense that, like, they super scienced him. Oh, that's another thing. They did super science him. Evidently, he's got ridiculous healing abilities. Not Wolverine healing abilities, but, you know, they mentioned in the trailer, and there's the scene where, you know, Rachel Weisz is a scientist, and she looks, it's like, wow, That's healed really well. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to stay on topic for this movie. It's hard to like just pick one topic and stay on it because there's so much of this movie that bothered me. Like, nothing in this movie happened for a reason. And the things that did happen were boring. How do you turn a spy movie boring? I can tell you how. With the Bourne Legacy. There is a chase scene. There's like, was it just motorcycles? There's a car chase scene which eventually turns into a motorcycle chase scene. And this scene lasts for like 20 minutes. And you get bored really fast. Like, kid you not, I'm sitting in the theater. You know, I'm just sitting there like this. And I realized it like 10 minutes into this chase scene. I'm like, I'm bored. I am legitimately bored. We're doing stuff really fast. Most of the camera work was really shaky, and it was really hard to follow anything. Who's chasing who? You know, how do they know it's him? And what's going on? Why am I watching this? And again, 20-minute chase scene in a spy movie. I was bored. I was freaking bored in that movie. God, there was no action for the first 40 minutes of the movie. First 40 minutes, like I said, it keeps jumping back and forth between Washington D.C. and New Jersey and the United States, and him up in Alaska, and he's doing nothing in Alaska. He's just walking. He's just walking. He meets up with the other guy who, like I said, jumps 30 feet out of a tree, and you're like, oh, we might be seeing some action. Nope. We don't see action for like another 10 minutes after that, where he talks with the guy and nothing is explained, and you the audience, don't learn anything. And the scene, you know, it ends with a missile taking out the cabin, and Jeremy Renner just happened to be outside, so lucky him. And I thought the most disappointing thing, more than anything about this movie, was the ending, where there's another secret. All right, they've established that there's Treadstone. There's Black Ops? No. Alright, I feel like a dope now because I just saw the movie last night and I can't remember this. But basically, there's like 3... They pull a secret agent just out of their ass. They're like, we need to send in Trax 3. What? Trax 3? Who's that? Wait, didn't we... That was just theory. We haven't... Wait, you mean you guys have already commissioned that? That it's already up and running? I thought that was... We were... Wow, we've got so many of these spy training agencies and Treadstone and... Oh, God. So, the 20-minute chase scene, by the way... the 20-minute chase scene ends with Jeremy Renner killing this guy that they sent after him, and they just walk off into the crowd. And no, these fishermen like walk up, and Rachel Weisz is like, "Please help us," and then that's the last we see of him, and it cuts back to New York, where the blonde chick from the second and third movie is now being talked to by reporters, and you know, nothing seems to have happened to Edward Norton's character. I mean, other than Jeremy Renner's character, everyone else in the program is dead, and they think he's dead now, and I don't know what's going on. And then we cut to Jeremy Renner, Rachel Weisz, and these Filipino people on a fishing boat, going out to sea, and he's like, "We need a plan." And she's like, "We don't need a plan." And he's like, "You're right." Rolls up this map that he had, and then it cuts to a song. Then a song starts playing over this pretty shot as they're going out to sea, and the credits roll, and like, what just happened? What are they gonna do? What's happening? This movie was so lame. It was bad because nothing happened, nothing was established, nothing was explained. I learned nothing about these characters. The action didn't come until like 40 minutes into the movie, like I said, and when the action got there, it was pretty boring. And it didn't feel like a Bourne movie. It felt like a wannabe Bourne movie. And I feel bad because, like I said, I like Rachel Weisz, I like Jeremy Renner. I even like Ed Norton. They're good. And they were good in this movie, but this movie wasn't good. Don't go see this movie. This movie was bad. It was a waste of my time, and it'll be a waste of your time. So, yep. That's my review for The Bourne Legacy. It wasn't good. Alright, Film Crazy Adam, signing off.